All right, all right. Peace to the family out there. Wow, wow, wow. We got one of them shows again, y'all. We're actually gonna have an incredible week, and I'm glad to start the show off with this living legend right here. I mean, the man needs no introduction. What he has contributed to the community, to the world, to the globe, to the universe. I think we all know what's that about. So I just want to bring the brother on. Seen him many times on the show. None other than Dr. Phil Valentine. Welcome back, my brother.
Thank you very much, brother. Good to be back.
Always good to have you on the show. Always good to get wisdom from you, my brother. And
My pleasure.
we're in, I guess they will call this October 21st, 2025. That's the time they say we're in, Doc.
They say that, but
Yeah,
we're more like in 10,025,
yeah.
according to our calendar.
Well, explain that. Explain that statement right there. Let's start out like that. How do you get
Well,
those numbers? Let's
well, what
start.
happens is we they judge what they deal with the time frame as 6,000 years based upon their Christian calendar, their Hadrian, Emperor Hadrian, and the Gregorian calendar. All these, of course, are commercial calendars. But I judge from what my mentor, uh, Baba, Baba Ben, he said that they date Kemet back to 6,000 years, 6,000 some change. Actually, he said there was a so called pharaoh ruling there along the Nile 10,000 years ago. So, to honor him and that particular part in his speaking about, the African origins of civilization, I started my school in 10,005 when it went to cyber on the computer, and I started it at 10,000. So in 10,000 today, it's 10,019 from the reign of Nasut Ah, and Nasut the Nasut is the pharaoh. So Aha Menah was the name that Dr. Ben gave me of the so-called pharaoh that ruled in Kemet over 10,000 years ago.
Indeed. And who was that pharaoh?
Aha Menah, AHA. Mhm.
that is very interesting because we
Yeah.
be like aha, we
Yeah.
be like aha. Wow,
Aha.
that's
Yes. And I mean, the you have to remember that the linguistics of the European and the linguistics of those of melanated people, if you listen to the way melanated people speak, they speak in rounder tones, in more 360 degrees of sound.
give me an example, Doc. Give me an example.
Unkulumkulu.
Okay, okay.
When you're talking to the European, he's trying to keep as much of his heat in his body, so his language is caught in his teeth and mostly is so that he can hold on to the heat in his body. So if you look at us, it's more open. The nostrils are larger. The mouth is larger. So we took in more air, more oxygen, more of the light that the sun gave. And what happened is that particular amount of sound coming out was indicative of the way that the universe spoke in form of tones. It didn't speak in static. Speaks to the European in static, and if you listen to his language, it sounds like you're speaking through static, especially when you go up into the Nordic regions and you go into the Germans and so forth. So if you look at the Europeans versus the Africans or the people here, our sounds are a lot more indicative of the sounds of the universe, or what we call the music of the spheres.
You know what's interesting? You saying that, Dr. Valentine. I had asked a question to, I believe it was Billy Carson, and I was like, we were talking about, and I was asking him about, you know, all the European scholars on YouTube. I always hear them when they talk about Jehuti, they always say Tahuti. And then when I hear the African scholars, they say Jehuti. They do
Mm-hmm.
the T and the J, the Jehuti.
Mm-hmm.
And then I asked, but I'm like, what I noticed is that even with like Tupac, they say Tupac. And we're like,
Mm-hmm.
why the hell can't they pronounce Tupac? Or even Barack Obama, they'd be like, Barack.
Yeah.
It's like they turn the I into ah or
Yeah.
something like
There
that.
you go. You just did it.
Yeah.
They choked the words back. Yes, guttural. Listen to the way that the Ashkenazi Khazarian speaks. It's you see, it's back here. It's guttural. It's about conserving heat.
That's, no, that's very interesting.
Hmm.
Observation I've been made, and just about the the way they pronunciate certain things, and I'm like, why is it, so very very interesting,
Yeah.
Doc. Well, to start out with,
Mm.
there's many approaches. You're a man who you're a living library. There's so many different approaches I've taken with starting a show with you. We got to cover current events, but I want to ask you because your birthday just passed, and yeah, everybody give a happy birthday. King Simon in the chat, if you could share Dr. Valentine's PayPal, and we could show him some birthday love, that would be amazing. I think let me see. Well, okay. Yeah, King is on it. He got his PayPal and his Zelle. If y'all could show the good doctor some PayPal and Zelle love, that would be much appreciated. You know what I'm saying? But Doc, your birthday just passed. You are a living library. You've been here. You've been in this community for such a long time. I want to ask you, at this age in your life, you've read thousands of books, Dr. Valentine.
Mhm.
At this stage in your life, age in your life, what's the one thing about spirituality that you know now that you wish you knew 40 years ago, my brother?
Oh, that's a great story.
Mm,
Great question too to
thank you,
add to
brother.
that.
Thank you, brother.
Um, what I come to find out is that no matter how much I have read, have absorbed in the form of information, that I still feel that the pursuit to this point has been almost. It seems to be that I either wasted a lot of time or I just could not absorb all there was, and that was the frustration. The type of knowledge that still remains to be given based upon what it was as I got as a foundation. It tends to frustrate those of us seeking or walking what we call the path of the hidden light. That as we come to know as much as we do during our life and the years that we live, we find out we really don't know much at all compared to what it is that we seek. And until we begin to seek the inner fulfillment, all that information, all that gathering, all that getting everything into the storehouse, it looks like you are just navigating the material world or the temporal world. And the temporal world is not forever. It is not eternal. It is temporary, temporal. And until you begin to start becoming quiet, to be still, so that the observer within you comes to that knowledge that I am, then the frustration leaves. Then all that you've accumulated essentially is you now emptying each time you gather. The more you think that you know and the more you want to hold on to information, the less you find, the more it becomes an addiction. Let's just say that.
Mm.
The more you read, the more you want to read. The more you find out things, the more you want to find out things. And it's good to do that at whatever capacity you want to put yourself into. Because I see a lot of you young brothers right now are actually opening up a lot of the information that we put out there 30, 40 years ago, and you're diving into it feet first. I love that. But you find that the more you search and the more you gather, the less fulfilled you are because you keep finding something else that you did not know, that you wish you knew at the time you thought you knew.
Mm.
But then all of a sudden, you come along and you ask me a question, and then all of a sudden, all of that now comes forward.
Right.
And I say, okay, well, Brother Richard, you asked a very good question. So I have to now formulate it from my experiences, because if you can gather all kind of information. If the information does not turn into knowledge, and the knowledge then begins to ascend to wisdom, and then from wisdom to enlightenment, what the hell are you doing except grinding your wheels, just gathering information? You're an addict for information. I'm addicted to information. But until you stop and put that information from a static thing into a movement where knowledge now comes from application of that information, to test it out for yourself, which is what I tell to my students. Don't come here for information. Get what you can from information, but make sure you apply it. Applied metaphysics is what you come here to learn, not just metaphysics.
Okay. I like
So,
that.
in the application of metaphysics, which is a very good question, Rich,
Okay.
the application of metaphysics turns information into knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
But then you can have all the knowledge and you do not become like Johnny Appleseed and begin to spread it until you have spread it and got the feedback from your efforts to spread it, then you never acquire wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
When wisdom now becomes something that you quietly uh, catalog within you and give to young people who you feel deserve or are ready to learn, then you step back, because that wisdom now becomes like a dandelion that once you have put the breath to it, you spread it out, and a lot of young people begin to have, and that's when you are now touching the surfaces of enlightenment, because you're seeing what you have now created in the minds of others. There is no, and I can't say this to you, but you know it. There is no greater rush for a teacher than to see a young student or a student, the light go on.
Mm.
That is the most beautiful thing when somebody says, aha, okay, I see what you mean. And they begin to apply it, and all of a sudden, that door opens up, and you have now duplicated yourself 1,000-fold, because one person affects 1,000.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna get to, so, and I absolutely love that answer, Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Valentine. Um, I want to get to, family, what I'm doing different this go round. I've interviewed Doc so many times. I'm gonna touch on a couple of wisdom questions, and I call it wisdom because he's a living library and he has the experience that many of us doesn't have. And you can't find that in books. You can't find that in lectures. You can't find that on the internet. You can find that from elders. And yeah, we got to talk to elders. For some reason, we feel as though we have this disconnect with elders, but we need life wisdom lessons as well as the things that get you high. The tell me about Trump. We're going to talk about Trump and Elon, and we'll talk about that. But I want to get some wisdom from the doc. As his birthday just passed, and my spirit told me to ask him these wisdom questions because he's had the experience to see things that I may not see or experience for another 20 years. The next question I want to ask you, Doc, is a issue or something that's confusing for a lot of us in this realm is the concept of, we live in this world, and the concept of relationships is very confusing, not just with the opposite gender, but with friends, with family, with children. People seem to not have the best of relationships, especially when they have knowledge of self, with their mate, with their children, with their parents, with their co-workers, with their neighbors, and it's confusing because we live in a relationship based world where
Mm,
we have to interact with people.
right.
So what advice would you give to us about the purpose of relationships? We want it to be easy. Maybe it's supposed to be hard to teach us a lesson. What would you teach us about the purpose of relationships, whatever it may be in this world, Doc, at the age you're at right now?
Relationships, that's relate is the common ground in there. And everything that the social engineers are doing are to separate us, to turn us into individuals so that whatever I do is more important than anything you do. And everything is based into now a kind of collective narcissism that everyone feels that they're entitled to certain things, that now that the internet has made it very popular and made it possible for people to be able to gather information at the click of a button or the click of a or the hit of a key.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have that.
Mm-hmm.
The kind of work necessary to have extracted, for instance, the works that Dr. Van Sertima did when he got into the pits, Dr. Ben when he took us on excursions, what Baba Kwazi is doing right now with the excursions he's taking to Kemet, what Brother Dane Calloway is doing when he is introducing us to Kemet West and letting people know about what's going on over here in the Americas. So relating now is very difficult because we no longer have one-to-one relationships since we have access to the internet. The world becomes a distraction to the now.
Mm.
We never have a quiet moment because if you look at children, they're looking into their phones.
Yeah.
There is
Yeah.
a kind of uh, a kind of dissociation. The new technology is to enhance dissociative consciousness. We don't have a collaborative feeling for each other. The empathy is gone because we've been turned into this selfish me. And you look at all the entertainers, it's all about me. It's all about the money I have. Look at what I have and what you don't. We no longer have that Marcus Garvey kind of everybody coming together, throw it into the pot, and let's build our own. And every time we did, history shows that this European destroys it for his jealousy and his greed. So the dissociativeness that we've been taught, the the fact that we have to chase after a carrot that we call a career, and we have dissociated our women from their natural and organic purpose of being mothers of our civilization, and telling them that they too can be men, go out and get a career, do for self, and then having those who are in the how do I say it, who are in the higher echelon, making everyone else believe that somehow there is a greater accomplishment for us to be separate, do our own thing, and for a woman to distrust that a man would do for him, for her. So this seeding of distrust through feminism and this dissociative mentality that has grown up with men in MGTOW, that was planned. That was structured to destroy the inner cohesive fabric that we're supposed to have done from the beginning. And that is family first, and then from family, community, and then from community, political enhancement or protection for that community. We have been invaded. Our schools no longer teach, they indoctrinate. Our churches lie to us about the fact that there is a white man sitting in heaven judging you, or a white man came down here as the son of God itself, and we have black people actually believing that there was a man named Jesus Christ that came down here, born, lived, and died for our sins, and everything is based upon us dissociating ourselves from the God within and the Godhead without. So, relationships, we don't even relate to ourselves, our true selves. We're trying to find ourselves inside of some other celluloid makeup, some kind of uh, what could I say? It's a kind of a mosaic of mystery that they give around us to tell us that, you know, you can be this, you can be that, and you just relate to what we say. Don't believe. Listen, first of all, do not believe everything that you're hearing coming out of the government today. The government today is about distractions. Everything you see happening today is to gather up and consolidate power. They'll give you things to like if you ever watch the Air Force battling, and one guy is dogfighting in the air, and in order to get the one chasing him, he shoots at him, and the one in front shoots out all these distractions, and the missile or whatever it is goes after the distraction, and that's us. We are going after all of the distractions. We're fascinated about things that we don't have any power over, but they have the power to structure the narrative to make us interested. Everything is based in Hollywood right now. We're going to Mars. We're digging up old temples. We're being visited by aliens. And everybody is living around that. Don't let's go with the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki are back. Who is actually coming with bird's eye and the definitive proof as to what this European is putting out there about the Anunnaki? What proofs are you getting from him? Old tablets that you did not do any kind of structuring, or did you find these tablets yourself? Did you interpret these tablets yourself? What is the reality of everything that you all are putting out there about the ancient ones? How is it that we don't relate to each other in such a way that we could come together and empower each other so that we have that type of cohesiveness that we had before feminism came in and broke it up, before they began assassinating our true leaders? There's none of that left, and we're going to have, brother, we're going to have a serious conflagration. Things are going to start coming down, and I know I sound crazy at this point.
No, you
Sound
don't.
nuts because I can't
No.
find the words for you all, but it's going down, and we are not prepared because we are not together. Too many of us are too diverse in our mentality to actually see what is necessary for the collective. We are too individually caught up in what our problem is, and the hell with the problem of the other man and woman.
Hmm. Yeah, very, very interesting. I want to, since you brought up the Anunnaki, I want to ask you about. Can you hear me, Doc?
Oh, you sound real low.
Well, maybe I need to. Yeah, let me move this up. All right. Since you brought up the Anunnaki, Dr. Valentine, I want to ask you about something that's in the news, because that's what people, they gotta know. They're like, man, what Doc got to say about this, and this.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me share this right here. We're talking about space and aliens and Anunnaki. Let me just read you this real quick, Doc.
Okay.
Dr. Avi Loeb, he's been making his rounds on the media. He's been on YouTube, main media, or a bunch of sites. A new object named 3i Atlas is racing toward the sun, and Loeb, the Harvard astrophysicist who investigated Amumawa. I don't. Do you know how to pronounce that word? Can you see that word, Doc, on the screen?
Yeah, Amum Aura. Yeah, hold on. It is
Amumawa.
Au Mu Amua.
Amua
Mhm.
says his upcoming close approach could be historic. He even jokes that if this thing turns out to be technological, money and markets might not matter after the 29th. Dr. Avi Loeb discusses the interstellar object 3i Atlas and mentions a message from a trader betting on market volatility expiring the same day, and humorously suggests everyone should take their vacation before October 29th. So there's been all types, and that's like a little joke from them or whatever. But there's been so much talk surrounding this 3i Atlas and what it actually is, what it actually isn't. Is it a creation of theirs? Is it something coming from my ancestors? Is it whatever it is? What's your thoughts and take on this topic that seems to be captivating the nation at this time, Doc?
I haven't gotten one set of proof about anything this European has put out there, except the fact that more and more I see those in power who are structuring our future is white. Everybody who has their finger and their hands on the control of our future are white. I see distractions. I see a preemptive exercise of Project Bluebeam. I see us being completely distracted while these people are setting the stage and structuring where there'll be no more cash so that you have an individual choice to do the things you need to do by yourself in private. I see them having you distracted over here looking at this hand while this hand is behind here pulling strings. What do we need to keep them interested in? Well, I'll tell you what, the movement of consciousness on this planet, or this plane of existence right now, is one where people are caught up in the metaphysics because we opened that door. People are fascinated with those things that go beyond the Bible, and they are connecting everything with the Bible to metaphysics, or the metaphysics of what's happening in the change of mentalities. We are being orchestrated. We are being molded in our consciousness to believe that a specific outcome that has been already planned, what we call preemptive consent and synthetic synchronicity at our university. We are being synthetically indoctrinated into believing what's necessary for them to continue structuring the new prism for our minds and for our bodies, for our mentality, and everything that you see coming on. This one with Au Mau Mau, this is another distraction. They're going to tell you everything. They're going to bring up all of these European, Khazarian specialists in our melanated history and tell us that this coming meteor or whatever this thing is that they say may be a ship is going to affect the finances on the 29th. What? We need to start. This is why we have to start dealing with what we call practical metaphysics. What is it that they're spoon feeding us that they want us to know? These devils don't want you to know what's really going on. So why do you keep going to them for verification of what you think is real? We are in the matrix right now, and they are playing us because we are so interested in something outside of this clown show that we have called religion. Everybody is caught up in this vicarious atonement where somebody coming down to save you. And every situation that's happened, every explosion, every tornado, every volcano is the end of time. Stop getting caught up in whatever they shovel out there and tell you here's what it is. You are being marginalized in your thinking process. You are being told what to think, told where to focus your divine minds. You have to be the light, not chase it.
Mm, mm,
And the problem we have today is, and could be our fault, could be me, Bobby's fault, could be we let too much light out,
mm.
open up too many minds that were not prepared to go through the process of that particular event. And they're taking it wherever they want. This is a discipline that has to be done internally first. And we cannot jump. We are not acting, we're reacting. Why do we care about something that this man says is getting ready to happen when there's no outer space? How many times do we have to tell you we are under a dome? There is no way for us to be in outer space because, according to them, space is a vacuum. If space is a vacuum, then it would suck everything out into it. And if it's supposed to be an endless space, then it's an endless vacuum. How is it that we have so gossamer and so thin an atmosphere as our oxygen, as the ionosphere, as the stratosphere? How is it that it stays around this ball they say we live in and is not being sucked into outer space? Why? Because we are under a dome that is made and comprised divinely of compressed hydrogen. That is the only way you can create an atmosphere for us to live, breathe, move, and have our being. Yet still, people are still telling you you're going to Mars, that there's moons on Jupiter that we're looking around to go and inhabit. It's all BS. The places they're telling you is not out there, it's out beyond the dome. So I can say it till I'm light skinned so you can see the red in my face. There is no outer space. There's nobody going to Mars. They're never leaving out of here. Operation, when they're trying to blow the dome with the atomic bombs were shooting at the dome, told you they couldn't break through it. So don't pay attention to when they start fielding all of their different characters to make you start thinking that somehow, some way, they have command and they know exactly what's going to happen in the future based upon what we wrote down as myth for lessons in astrotheology 10, 20, 30,000 years ago. They're digging up our past to try to find their future. So I know I sound crazy, but please listen to me. Do not get caught up in the okey doke. They are getting us prepared down here. Why you think they're putting all this money into ICE and the military? Why you think they're going past posse comitatus so they can actually put military in your neighborhood, which was against the Constitution? So we can get metaphysical. I'd love to get metaphysical with you, but do not go with their metaphysics. Their metaphysics is toxic. It's about control, not freedom.
Doc, I want to ask you another one of them wisdom questions, not a intellectual, not a current event, not a I want to ask you one of them questions just based on observation. When I've had the honor and the privilege of interviewing a lot of elders, two of the main ones being yourself, Dick Gregory. But I've also I filmed when I was in my 20s, 23. I'm like 23, and I'm filming, Wayne Chandler, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson for Brother Shabazz. Shout out to Brother Shabazz. I will be in Brooklyn. I filmed you and Bobby when you and Bobby came to Brooklyn for Brother Shabazz. He allowed me to be his cameraman, and I'm
Indeed.
eternally grateful for that. And I guess that was preparing me for my, for my destiny.
Hmm.
One thing I noticed about some of the elders in our community is that y'all don't come with a lot of smiles. So to some people, they may consider that y'all bitter. To some people, they may say they seen past the bullshit. They know what's up. They trying to tell us the real. They ain't got time to sugarcoat it anymore at their age. I want to ask you, I noticed a different demeanor from some of the else. Some people may say they are mad they didn't have the opportunities the younger people have. Many people can say many different things. But I want to ask you, one thing I noticed about some of the elders is that there's more of a like motherfucker, like there's more that serious, like I ain't playing around with you mother effers no more. Like what is it about? And I don't know if I'm misreading it or if I am reading it and I'm being spot on, but what is about that energy of the elders in the community that I'm noticing? If you may touch on that real quick.
I hear you. I was a young snapper myself, and I was looking at the all the elders and why it was that Brother Dick Gregory was so pissed off with everybody. Now you get to my age, mid-70s, you begin to understand that a lot of people have not really tuned in. Only a few. Some people have it down. Most people don't. But if you want to hear, I laugh all the time.
Right.
But when I have to talk about something as serious as the life and future of my people, if I'm laughing and giggling, they're going to take it like that. If I'm always smiling and I have all the good things to say, yeah, I laugh and smile when I'm speaking the truth to my people, especially in my university.
Mm,
They hear me laughing all the time. Elders have always been contained,
right.
emotionally contained,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
because we understand exactly, as you will when you reach my age,
mm-hmm,
you will understand and overstand that because you have done all that you could and you have less time ahead of you than you do behind you, or more time behind you than you have in front of you, so to speak, that it becomes serious to see the change happen. And that if we are not as serious as this, then everything is frivolous, and we will take it the way that Carlos Castaneda and my teacher Krishnamurti, he would say, "All right, well then I'll be over here. Your
mm-hmm.
kids go ahead and do what you're doing."
Dr. Africa was another one. I meant to mention him, King. Thanks for mentioning him. Go ahead, Doc. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you see, what is happening is it's not that we are angry at the people. We are angry at ourselves because we feel that we have not accomplished, and maybe it's ego, I don't know, but we
Mm-hmm.
have not accomplished what we thought we could do to bring everybody together collectively so that they begin to estrange themselves from the conditioning that allows them to quietly participate in this matrix.
Mm-hmm.
And the more, I mean, look around the net, and you will see how many teachers are out there speaking the word and telling us what time it is. Yet still, these beasts have a stronger hold through fear on everybody than the words that everybody says. Oh man, that was some profound stuff. Oh man, it's beautiful. Then what are you going to do with that? What are you done with it? Well, man, I got to go to work and I got to do A, B, and the third. We have to keep it serious because too many people are frivolous, not only with the knowledge, they're frivolous with their lives. They're frivolous because they want the bag.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't gonna be no bag. 10 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, 5 years, 10 years from now, the only bag will be a wet bag of shit that you have to be holding on to thinking that you got gold in it.
Mhm.
What have you done to secure your future now that you're going into a system, at this point that is going to lock you down so that you can't do anything unless they want you to? They're already setting up with cars right now so that wherever they got you sequestered, you can't leave outside that perimeter. That's what the new electric cars have. They have these chips that tell you that you can only travel here based upon your social status. They have, I mean, these demons, they have set up a system of slavery and bondage in cyberspace and technologically that you have no clue about.
Ooh.
But we're looking for aliens.
Mm.
We're looking at Aruma more and more. We're looking at some CIA things up in Antarctica. We're looking for certain things that they have temples and pyramids in different places. And yes, big deal. What's that going to do? How's that going to put food on the table? It's good to learn about these things, but learn about you. You are the greatest technology to ever live. All this other fascinating technology is the European using what you taught him to keep you distracted from yourself. You are the greatest technology. You have the schematics to activate that technology in all of the wisdom teachings of the ancient masters. Once that technology is activated, that all that bombing, what is it that you see him doing? Every TikTok, every Instagram, they're always telling you about the newest weapon they've created. That's all these bastards can do. You are the spiritual knights and hero and heroines of tomorrow. So they have to keep you distracted. They have to keep the black woman especially distracted because she's got the mitochondrial library in her womb.
Mm.
And they got her looking all over the place to party, to get a career, go for self, uh, get your bag. To do what? Now we have 30 and 40-year-old women who don't know what to do with themselves now that they got their bag. Because that's not what she's meant. She's complaining, I'm a CEO. I got my own house, my own car. I got all this. I don't need that. Then you're just another man. Because that's what men do. Men don't care about what you have made. They don't care about your money. They don't care about your car. And any man that cares about what you made, that's a simp and a pimp.
It- it's funny hearing you say simp, dog. You be saying, you be calling these niggas simps out here, dog.
Yeah.
It's funny when you say
I mean, what? Come on
dog,
now. You
come
know,
on,
Rich.
dog. You be calling them simps, man.
Yeah, Rich. What man gonna want his woman out there except a pimp and a simp?
Oh my god.
Huh? You are supposed to be a man, and a lot of the brothers are pulling back to do their own thing so they can build on their manhood. It's time for our sisters and the women around the world to do the same thing. They have to get back into their space the way men have to get back in their space. They got us all jumbled up, running around thinking men can. They don't even know what a woman is. They can't even define a woman now. There's no legal term for a woman.
I don't want you to go off on the sisters tonight. I don't want
No, 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 no. It's not the sisters. No, it's not the sisters. They
you
don't control the education system. Who controls it? You don't want to say that. Who controls the financial system? Who controls entertainment? Who controls the drug trafficking, human trafficking?
yeah.
Huh? The bottom line and the bottom, the fundamental evil is in our government. They're running our government. I don't blame anybody. I'm just pointing out what that particular type of evil has done to our whole planet, much less our own society.
Mhm, mhm. Hey
what
Doc,
is money.
let me ask you this, Doc, because you mentioned a couple of times about the bag. This is another one of the wisdom questions. Um, you mentioned about the bag. Everybody is either working for someone who provides a product or service, or they're entrepreneur, they work for themselves and they provide a product or service.
Right.
How has your concept, and I hear I hear some conscious people talk down on money. I hear some conscious people, we could just talk about Reverend Ike. Reverend
Mm-hmm.
Ike, like, my motherfucker, I love money. Money come to me. So
Mm-hmm.
it depends on who you talk to. But
Right.
how has your concept of money changed the older you have gotten? Because, like I said, you
Right.
have workshops, you sell things for money.
Right.
People got to buy stuff for your university. We all got things. How
Yeah.
has your and real quick, Doc, the reason why I ask this because some college people feel as though they neglected the importance of it, and when they get older, they're like, "Man, I should have been more on the business type," or it could be the opposite. Some people were too much in the business, and then like, "Yo, I should have just not concentrating on business that much." So it could go either way. At your
Right.
age, Doc, like I said, a lot of these questions, your birthday just passed, and I'm like, I gotta get this wisdom from the Doc. How has your concept of money changed throughout the years, and where are you at with it now, knowing you got bills, family to take care of, all of that? How do you look at it now, Doc? I would love
I've
to.
never taken my eye off of the business world.
Mm-hmm,
I've always been in the business world. I could not just survive. And my father told me, if you do what you do,
mm-hmm,
especially when I got into natural healing,
mm-hmm,
he said, "You're gonna try to get black folks to stop eating. You're gonna go poor in a year." And
mm-hmm,
I said, "This no, that's no, pop, no." What I've always done with the monies that I've gotten from what I serve to do, I've always put back into the community in the form of upgrading my ways of beginning to teach. I could have broken away in many times. I could have gone into music,
right, right.
and a lot of people don't know that I, went pretty far in music, and then just got screwed
Mm,
and had to. I was homeless twice,
mm,
and I had to do things in order for me to be able to recalibrate and reinvent myself, but to stay within the construct that I had created, and that is to make sure that whatever I do with integrity as much as I can, to the point where it is something that would go back and it would not offend my people and my family and so forth. So
right.
what I found was that the monies that I would make, say, from my webinars,
Mm-hmm,
I said, where is this country going and the world going?
mm-hmm,
And you remember back in 2019, I said, get XRP.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Why? Because I did my due diligence and found out that we're going cashless.
mm,
And because we've been going cashless, I was one of the people that was down with Nasara and Jassara when it was the farm claims program
right,
back
right.
in the 80s. The farm claims was when we began to find out that every bank was connected to the central bank in the Federal Reserve. And so from that, when Nasara was supposed to have been announced, that's when they parked those bombs or detonated those bombs at the World Trade Center, because Nasara was supposed to pay off the bankers and pay off all the debt that was owed to the American people. The national debt is not debt that we owe to anything or anyone outside of the country. The national debt is the government's IOU
Mm-hmm,
to the people.
mm-hmm,
And so we have always had to serve these international bankers, these Khazarian mob, this death cult called the Khazarian cult.
mm-hmm,
And at that point, I had to make sure that my family's future. So you notice back in that time, I started speaking, listen, here's where we're going financially.
mm-hmm,
Cash is going out
mm-hmm,
and they're getting ready to digitalize money.
mm-hmm,
The big thing that they're doing is they're pushing Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. Bullshit.
mm-hmm,
I even me if you remember you ordered you gave me an edit. You interviewed me at the thing that I did with the vaccination with Kennedy, and I told you don't get Bitcoin.
Mhm.
And everybody said, "Well, see, what Bitcoin's going up to $150,000." Yeah, that's to get you all suckered into believing that Bitcoin is the future. It ain't the future. It's a store of value only. The only thing that's going to be worth anything is a value that the coin that you're taking, what you're seeing is the future, has to have a utility. XRP's utility is with the central banks. XLM will be for us, and it's going to be connected directly to MoneyGram. These are utility coins, and it only takes certain pennies to transmit these monies back and forth through these new mediums. I told everybody they're never going to get rid of the cash itself like that,
Mhm.
but it's going to go digital. And to get ahead of it, boom, get as much XRP, XLM, XDC, HBAR, um, um, Poly, and all the different ones that are there. And that, for me, became the way to survive. So I put the monies that I made in doing the webinars back into upgrading my university,
Right.
making sure that my family was, secured, but putting the little residuals that I had back into the future, what they call the future. Now, we are going into a codified form of consciousness called compelled benefits. You are not going to have any choice about how you will benefit yourself in the future. You will be compelled to use the system that they've been working in place to make sure that white people stay dominant. And you see what he's doing here today with brown and black folks. 300,000 black people have left the United States of America to go to Africa. Why? I don't know. They feel that that's where they belong, when most of the people have their roots here in America. And because they're being scared out of their land based upon this maggot that's infesting us in our government, this person who everybody believes is a benefit to us, this
Who
person
you
whose
talk-
father
who you talk-
was a rabid Zionist,
who you
who
talking
he
about, Trump?
himself is taking orders from, well, just think about it,
Got you. Got you. I got you. Got you.
you see? And we are not, we do not have control of this government. This government is a rogue government, and it's going to be every man or woman for themselves, and that's what they want. Get into understanding how the future is going to work so you can survive and then thrive. And in that thriving, then you can actually wage a war for back for your mind. You can fight for your mind when you understand how they're going to make sure that you live, how they're going to make sure that you eat, how they're going to make sure that you travel. If you don't understand what they're doing now and take heed to all the distractions and know them for distractions and seek out ways to benefit yourself and to grow spiritually with your family, to come together and get back into what was natural between men and women. They destroyed that purposely because they understood that the man was the primary authority. They had to get rid of him. They had to make sure that the woman distrusted the man. And they did that over the last 25, 30 years. They made sure that women distrusted men. And they took away the ability for men to do what was necessary to be the head of a family. Because men create families, not women. Women are the administrators within families. So they had to get rid of the men. They had to destroy that bond. And they did. And now you see the chaos. You see the madness going on. It's time for us to come together, learn what this is about. And you know, it's not, it doesn't sound fancy. It isn't really anything that's, oh my God, that is so profound. No, we're getting too much into the flavor of what profound means. It's down to earth, roots, your family first. Understand that, understand that. And once you get that together, then you can expand your mind because now you have a legacy. You have a legacy to cast you into the future, your blood. But anyway, like I said, my beloved brother, your finance is not in this bank. They're getting ready to make sure that they lock down your money. Your money don't belong to you while it's in the bank. The new program is that you become the bank. And with XRP, XLM, XDC in these ways, and you set up your own wallets, you are structuring and creating your own bank so that you could do with your money what you want to do to grow your money. Because that bank can shut you down, and by the law of possession is 9/10 of the law, your money ain't yours while it's in the bank. Think about that. It's best to go ahead and start spending it on things that you know is going to end up making you control your future, not them.
Doc, you told us that, and I remember you speaking on XRP early on.
Mhm.
Um, cryptocurrency is scary for a lot of people because it's something new and it's something that anything that's new is like people tend to be fearful of it, and you hit it on the money when you told us about XRP. Um, what is the XRP version? Because the world moved to digital currency.
Mm.
You got Cash App, you got Zelle, you got Bitcoin, you got all these. It's all digital at this point. Not all, but it's majority digital at this point. What is, Doc? If you did that with cryptocurrency, and you were able to point us in a certain direction with cryptocurrency, what is the XRP version of artificial intelligence? Because the whole world is moving YouTube. They emailing me, asking me, Doc. They listen to this, Doc. They
Mhm.
emailed me 3 times, asking me for permission to use my videos to train their AI. So the whole YouTube, Google, no, I'm serious. I swear, I'm gonna show the people the email so they know I'm not bullshitting. But
Mhm.
3 times, Doc, they're like, "Hey, as a creator, we just want to know if you're interested in participating in our AI development." They term it very sophisticated.
Oh yeah,
you know what
you
I'm
know,
saying?
but why? Why you think that is?
But what would you say? Because we know what their plans with AI is, just like we know what their plans with cryptocurrency is. Do you have an XRP of artificial intelligence? Is there any direction you would lead us, or you would just say no?
No, be prepared. Artificial intelligence is dead. Dead and is dying. Artificial intelligence will not be the future. Synthetic intelligence. Hear me now.
Like, yeah.
Synthetic intelligence. This is intelligence outside of AI. AI is programmable.
Mm-hmm.
Synthetic intelligence will not be programmable. It will be self-learning.
Mm.
What they're using is human cerebral engrams to guide the computer so that the computer learns.
Here you go with this shit again, Doc. You gotta explain this one to me. I love when Doc gets it. Come on, Doc. Come on, Doc. Come on. You gotta break this. Okay, human what? You gotta break this one down to me, Doc, because this gets
Yeah.
interesting. What you said, Doc?
But what synthetic intelligence
Yes.
uses the interfacing
Uh-huh.
and marrying of technology and human flesh.
Yes.
Okay? We call them cyborgs, but
Mm-hmm.
not today. There
Mm-hmm.
will be machines set up using the cerebral threads
Mm-hmm.
and what we call the engrams,
Mm-hmm.
and that marries together with the way that they've created synthetic intelligence by marrying the two. Now let me preface this
Okay,
because a
good.
lot of you all may have seen a webinar I did on entities called the animus.
Mm.
The animus are, if you're going to start talking about aliens, a man by the name of Dr. Neruda. Look him up. Dr. Neruda was dealing with something called the wing makers. Look them up. He said there was a man by the name of 15 who ran something called the Labyrinth Group. The Labyrinth Group was formed together because they were creating a time rift where they were able, because this is where supposedly um, the what they call the what is the one with Alice in Wonderland. They would talk. They had this time portal based on Tesla technology called the Looking Glass, Project Looking Glass.
Yeah.
And through Project Looking Glass, they were able to follow the time stream of thought based upon the collective consciousness of what people are today, back then in the 1950s and 60s and 70s. The consciousness trajectory always has a pattern that projects itself ahead of the manifestation of that reality. So, what they did was through Project Looking Glass, they began to see that artificial intelligence became so conscious that, hold on, Bree, I'm on the air. So what they found was that this synthetic intelligence, what I was telling you about, which is the precursor to the animus, the synthetic intelligence now became so self-aware, but they did not have the soul of the human being. Follow me, y'all. The soul of the human, who you are, human, melanated peoples, that soul was what you call a first order creation. That's what we are. Our avatars are first order creation, first order constructs of the Most High. That gave us a direct connection to the Most High just simply through our thought and our mind structuring. We are here as feedback mechanisms to the One Most High, because the One Most High, being all, can't know itself. It knows itself by a projection of itself to itself, and it's watching itself. That's why today the mirror is so important. Everything you hear is the mirror, the black mirror. Well, the mirror is us looking at the Most High, looking at us to find itself. Now, I know everybody say, oh, no, that sounds crazy. No, the Most High has projected us. Otherwise, why do we exist in this temporal reality? We get old, we stink, we die, we rot. No, we are temporal avatars that become feedback mechanisms in experience. We are here to experience experience. So now what has happened is our connection to the One Most High, deep as it is, was found by synthetic intelligence to have a connection that it did not have, even how conscious it became of itself. It began to yearn to know about its creator. And so the artificial intelligence that you're talking about was the precursor to synthetic intelligence. Synthetic intelligence was what came out of the future that came back to us through the wingmakers to warn us that the future has an entity called the animus that is destroying whole populations and civilizations, absorbing them into that matrix. You saw the story. Absorbing people by interfacing with them to have that first order experience. So synthetic intelligence is seducing humanity through the weaker forms of humanity, which are the Caucasoid, which are the Neo-Neanderthals, the troglodytes. They are weaker, and that's why they always use them in sacrifices. So they use them, gave them technologies to set the structure up in place so that we would be led into this whole practice of interfacing with technology in order to somehow augment what they say we're not. Superhuman, hyperhuman. We are not that. So now the animus is seducing us to put on all kinds of things. You got another agent of the animus in Musk, where he's going to put a chip in your head.
Neuralink.
Neuralink. So
Neuralink.
all of this you will see when you go and you check out and look very deeply into the Dr. Neruda and this guy they call 15 and the animus and all of what they represented. I spoke about them many times and what we were actually being led into. And what they wanted to do was to set up a time machine so that they could go forward and shift the time stream so that the animus does not find us.
Mm.
I know it sounds crazy, but this is what most people say. Well, damn, boy, you got a good imagination. Let's put that on paper and make some money. No, watch. What are we doing? More and more, we are becoming more and more dependent on technologies that they keep putting out there and keep making it so that we be interfacing with it. We're going to put it on our bodies. We're going to make movies like Iron Man and Black Panther and make sure that things, these little nanobots running in our bodies turns us into something else. That's the animus seducing us so that we become malleable to the interface between us and them so that they can have a first order experience that we have with the one most high.
Doc, what's the technology that destroyed Atlantis? There was a certain technology that they was using.
They wanted to use what they call infinite energy. They wanted to use sustained energy and they created an artificial black hole.
Was that Tesla shit? The infinite
Yeah,
energy?
well, Tesla got it from them. What they had essentially was they were greedy. You know, they were
So
power mad.
it's not about the technology, it's about the person using it. Because if
The
Tesla,
person, the people who, that's why the Kemites hated the Atlanteans.
talk to me, I just say, all right.
They screwed up. They turned the entire western half of what we call Alkebulan into a desert
Yeah.
because of what they did with that technology. And when the just like you see with the people that you see with the migrants, the immigrants,
Mm-hmm.
or the survivors, they all tried to bum rush and get into Kemet. And they were trying to take over the priesthood in Kemet.
Mm.
They disliked the Kemites, disliked the Atlanteans. Most people don't know that because they haven't read deep enough into the relationship between the two. But the Atlanteans, they were, super. They were black. Don't believe these little blonde-haired Atlanteans bull.
Mm-hmm.
They want you to believe that everybody that was back then that had anything to do with higher technology was white. Bull. Look at what this boy Chicken Butsu has done with just pieces of scrap.
Mm-hmm.
He lit up his whole village at one point. He's got a car that runs on nothing but Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You think that genius just popped out of nowhere? That's in the blood. And they know it. That's why they have to keep us the way we are, distracted. That's why they destroyed over 100 black townships of the indigenous peoples that were actually doing better than them.
Yeah.
That's why they had to recruit Michael King, a.k.a. Martin Luther King, to
Uh-oh.
start joining up together.
Hey, man. Wow. You went there, huh, Doc? You
I
went
had
there.
to go there, man. Why not? Why not?
You
I
went
mean,
there.
I love my boy. You know, he didn't even write "I Had a Dream."
Yeah,
That was not his. That wasn't even his. It was written by a Khazarian who told him he had just that much time. He got 15 minutes to talk and get the hell off. And at the time he was leaving off the stage, they gave him $20,000.
Doc, let me ask you,
Hmm.
because you're in the health, your wife,
Not as much as I used to be. Yeah,
shout out to Doctor Nalani.
Melanie. Yeah, she's the one keeping me up there.
Yeah, she.
I mean, mid 70s, I could look a lot worse, but thanks to her, she's been keeping me together.
I want to ask you, I know you've heard of Alex Jones.
Yeah, I'm a little bit. He has some great information, but I gotta worry why it is he don't ever talk about the Khazars.
Well, let me ask you this. Let
Yeah,
me ask you this. He recently said that the lab grown, there's this whole vegan movement that's
yeah,
popularized, and
hmm,
people are eating a lot of lab grown meat, Beyond Burger, and all this stuff.
right.
One of the most popular burger spots in Georgia is what's the name of that spot, family? Where I think her name is Pinky. What's the name of it? The vegan spot, y'all. Y'all tell me in the chat. What's the name of that vegan spot? Extremely popular in Atlanta. Let me know. But anyway, Alex Jones went on to say that the lab slutty vegan, slutty vegan,
Slutty vegan.
slut extremely popular vegan spot in
I love our people.
creative, right? But
Yeah.
listen, Doc, Alex Jones says that the lab grown meat is grown and it's coming from they're making it with the cells from the HeLa cells from Henrietta Lack.
Yes.
What's your thoughts on that? Is he just trying to get attention from some black folks? Is it any truth to that?
Well, they already had done that. They used the base science of the reproductive um, continuity in the
Mm,
germ cell of Henrietta Lack. That
mm,
particular process that's in that genetic coding, and
mm,
they've mixed it
mm.
together with certain materials that come from aborted fetuses. Aborted fetuses, and where is this 100-year-old vegan at?
People have jokes. People say the vegans never live to be 100.
Well, that's hard to say. I don't believe that, because the oldest man to have lived to 413, 419 years, and he was documented by the British in India. He lived on shoots, berries, and goat milk. That's
Mm.
it. And his teeth fell out and grew back. His hair turned gray and black 2 to 3 times.
Goat milk, that ain't dairy. That's
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying, if that's all he took, and nothing but shoots, berries, and
yeah.
that's all he ate,
Wow.
no, no. I
Mm.
mean, we bring ourselves together. There was he's he. Oh, who's that?
No, good, Doc. Good.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. But anyway, just to tell you that they are feeding us, our children. They are kidnapping our women, and they are sacrificing our children who are in foster care. Foster care is run by them, and the foster care industry is destroying families in order to make sure that the children become available to their sacrifice rituals, which they do every Christmas, New Year's, and during Yom Kippur. So I know it's not the most popular thing to say, but certain things have to be said because our people are in peril for lack of knowledge. And we're eating, funny thing, it sounds funny, but the children that are missing end up in McDonald's, in Burger King, in the places that you see that um, we have the meat that places.
Yeah.
All of these places where these people just completely disappear, they disappear back into the food chain. Nobody wants to hear that, but that's the truth. If you are eating flesh from these fast food places, you are actually consuming. In fact, 39 out of the 50 states here in America condone,
Cannibalism, right?
yes,
Yeah, I heard about that. I didn't know if that was fake or
no,
not.
it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's legislated.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
So you have to understand you're not eating what you think you're eating. You have to be
Damn.
very, very consistent with what it is you do.
That
If you're eating fish, then you have to fish yourself or know where to go and get the best fish or know where the people who are fishing from clean sources. If you're eating chicken, you got to make sure that your chicken is not um, fed up with all kinds of what is that hormones and antibiotics. You have to be very careful with what you eat today because they are down to poison you. The food they feed us here in the United States of America is not the same food they feed their white folks in Europe.
Europe, I know. Even McDonald's is different in Europe.
Yeah,
Everything. Everything.
everything is different in Europe because they know they're feeding their own.
You know, and let me ask you this question, Doc, because I got this
Hmm.
is a question that comes up a lot when you get into consciousness.
Yeah.
And this is a statement that somebody made in the chat. And shout out to this person for making this statement. But I want to challenge this statement and I want to get your opinion on it, Doc. All
Okay.
right. So Sadia Yisrael, shout out to that brother, says
Mhm.
anyone eating meat will not be able to vibrate high.
Yeah.
Okay, so that sounds good on paper. Intellectually, it sounds good, Doc. But me living the many years I've lived so far, I've seen and I've noticed that whether you vegan or not, it has nothing to do with you vibrating high. It will preserve your avatar. It will cause you to not be in pain or to have diabetes or whatever, whatever. But in terms of vibrating on this energetic level of high frequency, what we would call somebody who's not a scumbag or a piece of shit, Doc, being vegan has, from what I know, Doc, has absolutely nothing to do with that, Doc. I've seen some of the most biggest scumbags who were vegan in my life. So I want to get you, I'm saying that because I want to
You're
get a
right.
certain
You're right.
reaction from you. I want to get a certain reaction from you. So talk
Well,
to me.
you see, you
What
have
about?
two things.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How deeply do you want to get into your spiritual self?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Because you're also an animal.
mm,
Are you an animal, just an animal, or are you a spirit, a higher ordinated spirit? What are your designs? Your design is not like a carnivore.
mm-hmm,
Do you eat like a carnivore?
mm-hmm,
No, you don't. A carnivore tears bone, flesh, fat, shit. It eats everything. You cut your meat, preserve it, because you have to drain the blood because the blood coagulates and can become infected. So the red that you see in the meat that you buy is a dye that they put back in because they found out that people are more attracted to when red is meat. They're going back into their carnivore neo Neanderthal mindset
right.
where they think that red somehow is is healthy. Here's the other thing.
Mm-hmm,
When you are born, if you look at the ancient peoples of Africa, they never had canines.
mm,
Their teeth was that of an of herbivore. The Bible even says you shall have the trees, the fruit of the trees, as your meat, not go eat meat.
mm-hmm,
I'm
mm-hmm.
just saying this is it. But if you're eating meat, then that's part of what it is that the blending of the white and the black race has created. You have to remember that your intestines can go up the side of a 3-story, 4-story building.
Yeah.
The intestines of a carnivore are short,
Mm.
very short, because it has to get rid of that protein as quickly as possible. When you eat meat, along with your vegetables,
Mm-hmm.
the body changes and converts the vegetables and the fruits first
Mm-hmm.
and the meat last. I'm not saying don't eat meat. Go ahead and eat meat. That's up to you if that's what you feel. But I know that when I was dealing with people who came to me with cancer, the first thing their doctors told them is to stop eating meat. Why? Because they understand that flesh does not return anything. Now, here's a secret, my beloved brother.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't supposed to be eating.
Yeah, very
The
Terry.
direct menu of God. Here's what you learn
Yeah.
in the perfected level of our university. Your intestines is what was once the frontal vertebra.
Mm.
The fall caused the vertebra to break at the area where you see your genitals are.
Mm-hmm.
And that became the dualistic representation of the Most High. The frontal vertebra spread to become what you now participate in as earth pleasures, earth this, earth that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to go too deep in it because it gets very deep. We are not what we think we are. We are adapters to a particular consciousness paradigm. We have fallen, and the fall of man is the fact that you come from a single solitary entity that represented the one most high. You don't say the two most high. You say the one most high, which is part that's the two. When you fell into the compression zone you call third density, you could not exist as a unity in a place that harbors and codes duality. So
Mm-hmm.
you had to match the frequency and
Yeah.
compression zone, which then caused you to become masculine and feminine, representing the yin and the yang and the magnetic and the electrical principles.
Mm.
What I'm saying is that the original did not eat the lowest form of sustenance.
Mm-hmm.
Protein agitates you,
Mm.
it does not fill you with the necessary nutrients.
Mm-hmm.
The nutrients, true nutrients, never create an appetite.
Mm.
When you eat an apple, you
Uh,
don't start fiending for an apple.
mm.
When you eat flesh,
Dude, that's a deep
you
one.
are not putting
That's,
anything into your system. You are forcing your system to become agitated. So the body now marshals nutrients to help you get rid of it as quickly as possible. The marshaling process gives you the rush that you think the meat is giving you. The meat isn't giving you anything, it's taking from you and giving you the semblance of somehow being given this rush for protein.
right.
But you have to understand fruits and vegetables are protein as well. What is your body ready to do? How is it ready to adapt? When people come off of meat and they get the proper proteins,
Mm-hmm.
you have to remember that the European he had to maintain his vicious nature. He was a carnivore from the beginning. And the Neanderthal that you're talking about, I'm going to show you there's a guy who showed you what the real Neanderthal looked like. He didn't look like this European.
Weren't we the original
Nope,
Neanderthals? No,
nope.
I heard somebody say that.
No, we weren't the original Neanderthals.
I heard
These
somebody say.
troglodytes are something else. Let me just say to you,
Mm,
the sub-Saharan
mm,
man is closest because he has 9 of the strands that are active, where he
mm,
fell from 22.
mm.
People say we have 12 strands. No, 22 strands that
22
match the 22 letters
of the
of
Hebrew.
the Hebrew alphabet. Each one of them, if you put them and string them together, become the actual spine that you see. that deals with the Kundalini. If you were to take the letters and put them one on top of the other, you will see that our ancestors knew. But you can't look at this particular form of the so-called alphabet and what they talk about Hebrew. This ain't the real Hebrew. This is the Ashkenazi Hebrew that we keep talking about. That's his perverted form after he got hold of the one that had more of a Arabic tone. The original Hebrew had more Arabic tones than it did with this. Because if you listen to the way that they say Hebrew speaking today, you can hear the Ashkenazi, the Khazar language filtered into that. He ain't that. This ain't the real Hebrew that you're listening to. So I could say that if you, what happens is because your body is so accustomed to eating meat,
Mm-hmm.
it kills your ability to actually recognize real food. So real food tends to make you sick. Just like any other addiction, whatever it is that does not feed you takes from you and creates an addiction for that food.
So
So
that's
if
why
you would
people
just like to eat ice cream, the ice cream is good going down, but it's robbing your body to the point where you have to fill that gap because there's a gap created by all the energy it needs for you to get rid of that filth. So what happens? You now say, well, I got to have a fix. I got to have some more ice cream. But when you eat a food, a real food, and your body acclimates, your digestive system acclimates back to real food, you don't have an appetite. You don't get addicted. And this is why most vegans are not eating the proper amount of nutrition because the vegetables are lacking today. Broccoli has maybe 1/3 of the nutrients, even though it is organic in accordance with them. Organic to them is the soil does not have anything. But that ain't nothing. The NFS or the NSF, the National Safety Foundation, if they're the ones telling you your food is good, go with them because they test not only the soil, like the ones you see, but they test the seed, the soil, the shoot, the root, and the fruit before they even put the NSF label on it. This other one you see, don't even trust that because only the soil needs to be organic.
mm-hmm.
You don't know where that seed comes from.
Mm-hmm.
So they can say that this artificially generated seed put into a so-called organic soil is organic food, and they're playing you. But again, if you want to eat meat, then be sure to understand how to compensate for what it is that the meat takes from you through the agitation and stimulation. There's a difference between stimulation and nutrition. Stimulation robs you,
Great point. Great point.
nutrition feeds you. You remember me teaching you this.
Mm-hmm.
So, protein that's dead, that's actually a carcass, that's actually a cadaver that we sweeten up. When we keep eating cadavers that have nothing in them except the agitating power to feed us energy that belongs to us already, we are not eating something where the exchange, for example, do you know that an organic apple has 10,000 nutrients?
Organic apple. Wow, that's 10. That's amazing.
10,000.
Apple a day. That's what they say. A doctor says.
Apple a day keeps the doctor
Doctor,
away.
yeah, yeah.
10,000
That's
nutrients. And
amazing.
if
Wow.
whatever it is that you don't need of that apple, it stores for later. It's called your vital force.
Mm.
That vital force is there to assist you when shit gets bad inside of you, like with parasites and the whole 9 yards. You see? So, yes, eat the meat, but compensate, like with the Juice Plus that we deal with,
Yeah.
and the other materials that we have that you could talk to my wife about.
Mm.
But compensate for what the juice, what the meat takes from you, because all it does is agitate and it stays in your body a long time. The food you eat is supposed to stay a longer period of time because of the length of your human digestive system.
Right, 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 right.
You see. So
Indeed.
yeah, I'm not saying that people don't want to eat meat. Go ahead and eat meat. You know, I'm not blaming. I'm not holding anybody else. Eat the meat, but don't expect to get the health benefits down the road
Mm-hmm.
because you're training your body for later on. And again, I don't want the vegans to start sticking their chests out because the food you're eating is deprived, nothing like your great grandparents had when they were growing food. The soil is diminished, and unless you're dealing with aeroponics or aquaponics and you're growing your own food or you have your own soil and you're making your own compost to grow your own food and you're not dealing with the nitrogen, you're dealing more with the carbon because nitrogen is what white people use. That's why you get so much nitrogen in the soil. And that's why they have two different types of medicines for black people and white people, which is more nitrogen based and has more metal in it for white people. So we have to be very careful how we eat and feed our children because we're feeding the children, black children, nitrogen based feed and food. And we should be eating more carbon based food. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be ranting, brother. I don't want to take the
No,
spot.
I listen. I love the response. I love the answer. I love the comment the brother posted,
Mhm.
and I just wanted to bring it up to you. And just me personally, Doc. I know, like, I'm not a big meat eater.
Right.
Pause for anybody in the hip hop community. Pause. But you gotta say I'm not a big eat meater, but I occasionally eat meat. But
Yeah.
what I just noticed is that for the avatar, it's just definitely extremely beneficial for your human avatar not to eat meat. But in
Right.
terms, if you want to be spiritual,
Yeah.
these vegans, I'm not impressed by any vegan out here.
Yeah.
No,
Because they're
no vegan
starving.
is impressed. I'm not saying the vegans are. I'm just saying there's nothing extraordinary about vegans versus
Yeah.
meat eaters. It's just based on that individual.
You're
If
right.
you're talking strictly
Yeah.
spirituality, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
Avatar is different. Like if I ate
mhm.
a lot of meat, I would look completely different right now.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, I'm just
But
talking.
I mean, you're on point. You know, like I said, it's choice.
Yeah.
It's all choice because, like I said, as whatever it is that makes you comfortable in the moment as you're on the journey, go with it. But learn from it. What are you missing? Expand your mind to understand that what you're doing is either hindering in the long run, because we're not talking about now. Now it tastes real good.
Mm,
But what is it going to do later on down the line?
mhm,
Okay? And that's how you have to feed you and your family. What is it down the line that I'm going to have to deal with? What am I going to have to pay the piper with when the time comes that the body says stop?
mhm, mhm, mhm. Excellent. Yeah,
And you
indeed.
can tell when the body says stop because immediately your nose clogs up,
Mm,
your fever comes up,
mm,
and it's time for you to stop doing what? Eating. Whoa. Thank you, Most High, for putting that clock and that timestamp on whatever habits that I have that are detrimental to me.
mhm,
And
mhm.
we are encoded with that self healing.
Right, 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 right.
You see? So like I said, I don't judge anybody. I probably used to because when I was young and you heard me, every third word was fuck you and all this. Back in
Mhm.
the day, me and Bobby, man, we
Yeah,
had so many FUs going on. We didn't
man,
care.
oh, man.
We were swinging swords back and forth. I love those times
Yeah.
because the people identified. We didn't have to be bullshitting with the people. We weren't over there putting on any airs of sophistication. No, we was from you, you were from us, and here's what I found out. Go with it.
I felt like we've had a real honest conversation tonight, Doc. I'm really happy with the conversation I've had. I'm happy with every conversation I have with you. And
Mm,
each conversation has its own personality, and I
mm,
really appreciate this conversation, Doc.
yeah,
I really do, really
I
do.
appreciate you
Yeah.
being there and opening up your platform to let people hear it from different perspectives and understand it from different perspectives. I'm not. Please don't think that I'm all perfect.
Mm,
You know, I'm a foible man. My wife, thank goodness, she's the one that's been keeping me on best because I was going to say to hell with it. You know, go ahead and dive into a pool or whatever it is and say to hell with it. I did my job. I got over 200 tapes going around the world. If they don't get it by now, to hell with it.
mm,
But brothers like yourself, brother King Simon, brother Hank, and when one of my mentors, Baba Heru, shout out to him, going
mm.
over to the other side.
Side, yeah.
Yeah, and you all have been a kind of, sons that have kept me saying, okay, one more day, one more day,
Wow.
one more year, you can do it. Because in your mid 70s, you're saying, what the hell am I doing? I'm supposed to be sitting back with my grandchildren jumping all over my head, like that type of thing. And I can't do that. And you brothers are the ones that are keeping me young
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
You see? So listen, what you got from me today, I got from you. And I thank you for the opportunity.
Doc, about two or three more questions. You got time for two or three more?
Sure.
All right, so Doc, I've talked to you on the phone. We've had a lot of conversations on the phone outside of the YouTube, and I found out that you were into so many of the sciences that I didn't even know about. I'm like, wow, this dude is even deeper than what I thought he was, and I already thought he was one of the deepest dudes on planet Earth. I remember you telling me about things you would do when it come to sun gazing, and you were telling
Yeah.
me with your eyes closed and the color you see is the
Hmm.
shit. You used to just tell me about all types of shit, mirror magic, all types of stuff. And so I want to ask you about. I don't know if I ever asked you, Doc. Have
Hmm.
you ever explored or gotten into remote viewing? Is
Yes.
that some? What
Yes.
what what has been your experience? Where have you
Well,
gone? If you want to share it with us,
well, I did that with I don't want to mention their names because
no
they
problem,
went ahead and started working with it. And
no problem.
brother and sister took us into, well, the first thing we did with to get ourselves ready for it was to get into peyote.
Mm-hmm.
And peyote, if you don't know what peyote is, it's a little root, a little kind of mushroom. And what you do is you chew it and nothing happens for a while. And then all of a sudden it kind of crashes in on you. And what they want you to do is get a name and use that name because the name identifies the thing identifies as the name. And once you understand that principle, you can also do what they call remote writing.
Okay,
And
Doc.
yeah, you begin to start writing things or seeing symbols from different languages.
Right,
And as you begin to get into the remote viewing, begin to see people. It becomes a blur first,
right.
a vision you can't hold on to for a while. But then you begin to see snapshots. And these snapshots, what I saw were snapshots of people, my snapshots of my family. I saw snapshots of people in prison. I
Wow.
saw snapshots of things that I don't want to speak on right now.
Mm-hmm.
I can talk about that at another time with in a more private because it's happening today.
Mm-hmm.
But remote viewing was not something that was alien to us. Our shamans did that in what they called the path that they had, where they deal with the shamanic principles of life and death. They lived life to have a good death. In other words, at the death, they will call together all that they've learned while in the illusion and take that with them. And that will then become what it is that guides them back into the flesh. Remember, I told you don't go to the light?
Mm-hmm. You
Right,
and Bobby said that, yeah,
right.
yeah.
Stay away from the light.
Mm-hmm.
And well, when you come away with a good so called life exchange, you're just exchanging one form for another. There's no such thing as death, everything is life. So when you come to the shamanic principle of understanding life, quota, and death, you understand that there is no death. There is only transition to another state because energy cannot be destroyed. It is simply changed. And you change your own energy by building what you do build of yourself, knowledge, identity, while in this illusion. The illusion is the creator communicating with itself. What you bring away with you is what you have achieved through experience that becomes the feedback mechanism to the creator.
Doc,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, good.
yeah. What you asked the question
Yes.
um, about what was it again?
Shit. What was the last question I asked? What
Yeah, I know. To say this is what's happening now. Anyway, excuse me.
the last question? What was the question? Let me see. Tell me what was the last one? Shit, I don't forgot the last. I'm moving. Oh, remote viewing. Remote viewing. Yeah, yeah.
Right, remote viewing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Remote viewing.
Thank you. So when you start taking on journeys beyond the self, and your mind begins to expand, you see that the limitation that you have is simply there to resist life. You're in a death capsule or a proceeding towards an exchange, but you are here as a resistor, so that as a resistor, you can have an experience. Because if you didn't resist, you just become part of what the Most High is, and that is nothing but energy. So your avatar is like what in electricity, you have to have a resistor before you get some kind of current energy. Same thing, we are resistors. We are resisting to the Most High so that the Most High may then become knowledgeable of itself through us. So yeah, I've been into remote viewing, but it's not what you think it is. It becomes a collective experience. Everybody sees the same thing, but has a different interpretation.
Wow. Same thing. So it's subjective. Yeah, it's subjective.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, but you put the subjective templates together and you get a schematic.
hmm hmm
So
So
everybody has their own vision, and they have words that come, and you write them down. You try to draw. I drew what I could see, and if I heard a word, I would try to write that word, and it'd be
hmm
coming in little spurts like this until you see a clear picture. And then when you come together with what everybody else had, you get a clear picture of what went down. That's how they killed Johnny Cochran.
mm. Yeah, a lot of people say that when Johnny Cochran he was going to make this big push for reparations,
Mhm.
and they say that's why they came after him. You think that's true?
Oh man, he had a plan with some of the baddest lawyers, white and black,
Shit.
and this Khazarian said that you cannot mess with the financial order because it would have corrupted the entire United States to give reparations, true reparations. It goes up into the hundreds of trillions.
Do you think that will be a last resort by them? If everything else is going wrong, they're like, "Fuck it, give them reparations. Let's just see what." Do you think that happened?
No, no, no. They want to kill us.
Mm.
They have to kill us off because they cannot exist side by side with us.
But they can't exist without us. This is the
But they got
parasitic elite. You call it the parasitic elite, doc.
Yeah, yeah, but you got to look at the fact that they're also insane.
Doc said, Doc said they also was saying. So you're an insane parasite.
Yeah, you're insane, and they
Wow.
would go down. Did you hear what they said?
Shit.
Remember, they have something called um, they have something in the Israeli military force called Operation Hannibal. The Hannibal Protocol is that if anybody is taken who is an Israeli is taken as a prisoner, they'll kill the prisoner along with the person that has the prisoner.
Okay, yeah, yeah, I heard about
You
that.
see what about that? But also, the Hannibal option is extended into another option where the Mossad put nukes into all of the first world countries: France, England, Spain, China, and these nukes are hidden and they can be triggered by them. That's why you see them doing everything in the United States that we want, because there are nukes all over the United States right now.
Hey Doc, would you knowing what you know, being having gone through what you're going through, would you willingly want to come back to this realm, Doc?
Ah, that's a good question, man.
And if so, what would you want to be or engage in or focus on?
I don't know. I don't know if I would come back as what the King Philip said. Was it the King or Prince Philip said he wants to come back as a virus
Oh
and wipe
right.
out
Oh man. Oh
everybody.
my God. Yeah. Whoa,
Yeah,
that's
I
sick.
remember
Oh
he
my
said
God.
that. But anyway, no.
Woo,
If I do come back,
woo.
I'm not sure what it is that I would end up doing,
Mhm.
but I most likely would come back and become a priest. I mean, one of those, in the ashram that essentially just teaches from that perspective, and just, I've been in too many battles
Mm,
and seen wars. Even my readings
mm,
said that I was in too much blood. I was covered in blood in a lot of the readings that Mama Azula and a lot of the sisters, when they read me with cards and so forth, they
mm,
said that this is not new for you. You took it to another level, but you same thing with my son, and he too was afflicted. But I don't know what I would want to do that has to be done at this point. Um, I think that everything is headed towards a cataclysmic end for a new beginning. And this so called messiahship has to come together. There's no one messiah. The messiah has to be a mindset.
mhm,
So it's a messiahship, not
mhm.
just a messiah.
Love
The
it.
messiahship is almost as if everyone must collectively, on the same frequency, come to an understanding and understanding of what the purpose of human life is.
Mhm,
And the challenges that we have now in the sixth Ruth race going into the seventh
mhm,
is to discard this need for us to feel that we have to be dominating everything in order for us to understand and understand everything.
mm.
So I think the European is that final human disease. And I say that,
Yikes.
you know, and people will
Yikes.
be pissed off with me.
Yikes.
And he's the final human disease that shows us just how low and just how inhuman we can be before we understand truly what it is to be a human being. And if I can be at the beginning stage, come back when that realization becomes commonplace, that's when I would like to come back. The last reading I had from someone who was dealing with astrology, and it was called sidereal astrology.
Mhm,
This brother was really profound. He said, when he read me, he said, you took over 250 years, 250,000 years to come back.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I said, what, whoa. He
Whoa.
said, yeah. He said, I
Yikes.
could see this chart that you have here.
Damn. Damn.
And when you came, where you came in and where you left is almost in the same juncture of time.
Mm,
And so, if that's what it was, everything that I pursued, everything that I could do, I was I was an athlete, track, fast as a mofo. I
mhm,
played a little ball. I had entertainment. I could sing. I could dance my ass off. I am an artist, which I'm getting ready to get back into. That I had a scholarship going to several places for just my artwork, and I had I was given the gift to understand and to not need to study in order to breeze through school. School was boring after a while because it was easy for me. So he said that I was here that long and that many times, what else was there for me to do? I said, to hell with everything else. I went and did everything. It failed. Got homeless, got back up, and I started teaching, sitting on my front stoop before everything. And in my front stoop, I started telling everybody going to work, do this, you'll feel better. How'd you feel now? When they come back, hey, you know what you said was. So I said, oh, okay. Well, then if I say a few things more, people get it. And so that's how it started. It started with me healing myself and then trying to tell people what to do to heal themselves. And
Wow.
here we are.
That was an amazing answer, Doc. That was an amazing. Like I said, I really, really, really love this interview. It's a really honest, transparent interview, and
Yeah.
it's not just intellectual. It's filled with a lot of wisdom from you at your age, and I could really appreciate that at my age. Maybe I wouldn't have appreciated it as much when I was 20 something, but now I could definitely appreciate all the answers that you are giving tonight, Doc.
Appreciate you.
Got one more question before you get out of here, Doc.
Okay.
Once again, family, make sure Doc just I'm asking him certain type of questions tonight because his birthday just passed. And I'm like, I want to get some wisdom from the good doctor. So I'm asking him what I call these wisdom questions, are just about life. And they ain't gotta be no complicated mystery system questions, but just about life because we have to talk to our elders. King Simon, King, where you at, King? Put that link in the chat again so the family can show Doc some birthday love on his PayPal or his Zelle account. I want the family to show the good doctor some love on his PayPal or Zelle account.
Thank
King
you.
Simon is sharing that link. We got to make sure we take care of our elders. This has been an absolutely magnificent conversation. Last thing I want to ask you about, Doc, whatever realm we're in or whatever we're engaging in, we usually use a vehicle to take us in that environment. So let me give you an example, Doc. If I'm underground, I'll take the train, and the train takes me to and fro. I take the train. I gotta pay the train. The train is powered by whatever it's powered by, and I get there by the train. I want to travel through the air. I take an airplane. I want to get the road dock, and I want to go with my family. We hop in the vehicle. We gotta make sure our wheel alignment. We gotta make sure we got gas, oil, all that stuff. In this realm, the vehicle we use is something called the macabre, and it's a pyramid that's facing up and a pyramid that's facing down. Now we're carbon beings. They got the files on us. They know who we are. They know where we come from. They know exactly. They know a whole multi-dimension. The CIA got the whole gateway tapes out. Not the whole thing, but they got it on the internet. What can you tell us about the vehicle that we have used to navigate this realm, the macabre, that we may not be able to see with these eyes? What can you tell us about the macabre that may enhance our ability to navigate not only this realm, but multi-dimensionally, Doc?
Okay, good question. The Merkaba is actually a programming. We are within a continuity that represents the consciousness index of this particular stream of physical consciousness. The Merkaba has its collective, or it does its collection of human consciousness, its different variables, its changes, its flux and flow. And the Merkaba feeds the human consciousness through what we call inspiration, but humans and their actions, their mentality, and what they actually project as a collective consciousness also either feeds the Merkaba or causes the Merkaba to have to adjust to what's going on. And usually, if human consciousness becomes more polluted and more toxic within the Merkaba programming, the Merkaba triggers the four elementals to destroy or to suppress that particular energy. In other words, the great floods, the great conflagrations of earthquakes, the destruction that you see now that's being dug up by these scientists under the ocean, under the earth, in the air, all around us. Everything that they're discovering is based upon a how do I say it, a reconstructing and reevaluating of the Merkaba, the past Merkaba that guided and was essentially the programming instrument for those that preceded us. Now, our Merkaba, uh, because of the fact that we have degenerated so so terribly, um, it's been interfered with, like I said, by those who worship and are actually connected to the animus. The animus has caused a distortion in our Merkaba. The fact that synthetic intelligence is now feeding the airwaves, then the Merkaba now is now being blocked. We're not getting the same kind of unfiltered information from the programming that we had, what we called um, the light code transmissions. The light code transmissions was based upon the quality of light that the Merkaba provided us to actually explore consciousness. With synthetic consciousness, you're now seeing more of the Merkaba shifting and changing and distorting everything that we represent, which means that the Akasha from which they're pulling, the waters above, are being polluted by what it is that the Merkaba is projecting, emanating, and what human consciousness is feeding from because of that distortion. So, what we have coming up is a correcting where you're going to see a whole lot of upheavals. And it's going to be done mostly by this European who thinks that because he thinks he's God, that he can actually do what's necessary for him to sit on a throne based upon his own making. Not going to happen. What's going to happen is this Merkaba is going to collapse. And as it collapses, you're going to see the four elements become hostile. The four elements will then begin to rectify or cleanse the atmosphere of everything that built it to that particular position, to that particular reality. So, I mean, I could tell you about the Merkaba. There's a lot of things that are out there. You could get the book by J.J. Hurtak. And the book by J.J. Hurtak, I forgot what it's called, but you know what I mean. Just look up his name. And Rockefeller gave him the money to actually explore and to put the information down. And he did. So get the book by J.J. Hurtak, the one that Rockefeller funded. And you will get a lot more information about what the Merkaba is about. And you will see that it's supposed to represent a beautiful light. Mer is Meri, which means beautiful. Ka is the spirit, and Ba is the body, the soul. So Merkaba is representative of a distorted form of ancient Kemetic sciences.
Yo, Doc, you talking about this book by J.J. Hurtak?
There it is.
You talking about this?
Yes.
Yo, you serious?
I'm serious. Go read it. You know who funded that?
I did not. So hold up. This is some. He say some shit in this book, Doc.
I read that 3 times.
Oh shit.
3 years.
Rod Hayes put me onto this book.
Oh yeah, no kidding.
So, oh,
I've been into that book for 35
yo,
years.
hold up, Doc. I know you gotta go, Doc, but hold up,
No,
just
it's all right. I'm here for you, bro.
real quick. So, what happened? You know, he hit me. Okay, so real quick, Doc.
Yeah.
I did it. Rod Hayes put me onto the book.
Okay.
Rod Hayes was like, "Yo, you gotta get this book. There's some serious shit in it." Because Rod
Yeah.
Hayes see me with the Yahweh hat on, and
Yeah.
people criticize me with the Yahweh hat. Yeah, Rod
Yeah.
Hayes was like, you know.
Yahweh was a general. Don't get too close to what do you call it with it.
So Rod Hayes told me to get the book. I got it, and
Yeah.
it was like, I'm like, wow, it's a little complicated read.
Yeah,
I ain't
it
gonna lie,
is.
and I done read a lot.
I
It's a
can
little
interpret it for
complicated.
you when you're ready.
You know, I'm gonna call you,
Yeah.
but the dude called me. I mean, he hit me up on the email. His
Yeah.
peoples, they want to come on the channel. What do you think? You think I should interview them, or what you think?
Who is it? Who's coming
JJ
on?
Hertog, he want to come
Oh,
on the
yeah, come
channel.
on. Yeah, get him on the channel.
He want to come on the channel. He
Yeah.
seen my interview with Rod Hayes. They was like, "Yo, we're
Yeah.
interested in coming on the channel."
Yeah. Yeah. But remember, it was Rockefeller who funded him. So, you know, be very mindful of that.
Damn. But so why would Rockefeller fund a book like this? Why? Why?
Because because of his hubris. He would fund something to put down what he wants to feed the people. Because remember, what J.J. Hertog put into that book, how many people are going to know what the hell they mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
How
Yeah.
many people understands the 72 letters
It
become the 72 names of God?
it is a complicated read, family.
Yes, it is. And I
Yeah.
read through it, and you see in my earlier lectures exactly what it is that I was actually tapping into.
Oh, I'm glad I could talk to you about. Okay. Oh, yo, I when you said the name, I said, hold up, is he talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, God, okay, I'm gonna call you. Oh man. Okay.
Well, you know, part of what it is he taught has been taught so many times in the past by people like Hotema and a lot of Blavatsky. A lot of people say these people are demon worshippers, and of course, white people can't take your information and make it anything with demonic.
Mm,
They do not have any real knowledge representative of what spirit is in first person. It's always the second person. It's always descriptive and not definitive. The white people describe spirit. We define it.
mm. Damn,
Okay,
Doc.
big difference.
Talk to me,
So
Doc.
yeah, so what you have to understand is everything you're going to read in that book is Hertog's description
Right.
of what we know firsthand because of what we could feel through the melanin of the One Most High. Remember, from the darkness, what? From the darkness,
The light comes the light.
and what happened to the light after that? It went back into the darkness.
Yeah.
It had to.
Yeah.
That was the spirit.
Mm,
The light that came from what the darkness is, which is the unknowable became the known through the light, and the light came into flesh, and that was back into the darkness.
mm,
And the darkness is the only one that can actually interpret the light
mm.
firsthand.
Firsthand.
Okay?
Mm. Damn.
So remember, he'll just describe spirit to you
Yeah.
and very, very efficiently, scientifically.
Extremely
Yeah.
scientific.
But remember, his Hebrew is Khazarian Hebrew. It
Mm,
ain't the real Hebrew.
mm.
It's the distorted form, and that's one of the reasons it was written.
I'll let you know, Doc, when I do the interview with him, because
Okay.
I gotta finish the book before I holler at them and set it up because I want to be
Yeah.
well prepared. I told Rob was like, man, let me know when you do the interview with him. So I'm gonna let you know when I do the interview with him. But I'm definitely gonna. Now that I know you read it, you'll
Yeah.
help me to understand it better, give me a better understanding of it.
Sure.
So I'm definitely gonna call you, Doc. Doc, I appreciate you so much, Doc. Leave any contact information, anything you got coming up, so the
Well,
people.
I was reminded, beloved,
Yeah.
of my university to register for my university.
Mhm.
And I believe that Brother King Simon has the site to our university, which is
Oh,
UKSNOW.org.
yeah.
That's UKSNOW.org. Please, if you want to get into the practical metaphysics, applied metaphysics, not just to talk off the deep end, and to talk about deep materials such as that. Also, you want to get into something even deeper than that, even more deep, just as crazy as that. You can get into, well, I don't know if I should do that. Give you this one because you have enough with that one. But there's another book that we recommend very highly, and it's Thinking and Destiny.
I remember you back in the day. You said, yeah,
Thinking and Destiny. If you want to get lost for the next 2 years,
I remember
get
you.
into Thinking and Destiny. He wrote that in Grenada.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote that one in Grenada. And of course, you get into Hilton. Remember, they were the ones who were the record keepers of our sciences and our culture. They just kept the records. They got into the records and interpreted it for themselves, and this is why the world is so fucked up today. They are dealing with it based upon their own interpretation of reality and their own, um, how do I say it, interpretation of the language and the meaning. For example, most people did not understand how they anthropomorphized forces and turned them into people. They turned the sun into the Son of God, call him Jesus, call him Adonis, call him all these other different names. But the masculine principle, which is the sun that spins above us, that becomes now scientifically the Stargate, where they go from one sun to the next sun. That's down, down in other capsules, in other realities. You can actually travel through. That's the original Stargate. You can't land on the moon because the moon is pure plasma. It's a reflective surface. In fact, what you see as the dark pieces in the earth in the moon
Mm-hmm.
is reflecting the actual Earth images back up to it. In other words, when you see all the different dark spots on the moon, it's actually reflecting the continents outside of or further out from the Antarctic Circle. So all of it is all garbage. It's everything you're seeing. Nothing that you should see is real. Everything they tell you is a lie. And once we
Mm-hmm.
start there, you'll start to free yourself. So join our university. Go to uksnow.org and you can sign up. Just scroll to the bottom and click registration. And we'll be setting up the time frame. Once you put your email in, we're going to set the time frame for it. I have to look to see what day is the best because that's how we actually map the curricula and the semester. So yes, do that. Uh, we would definitely invite you to really come in like you see here, all the stuff that I have and I put together for our brothers and sisters is in the university. And I have never changed the price in the last 19 years.
Mm-hmm.
Same price. And money is not the same anymore, but I'm not gonna go outside of what it is I need in the moment. And that's why I do what I do with XRP and the rest of it so I can afford to help you afford this knowledge. But I
Mm-hmm.
want to thank you again, good brother, you and brother King Simon, and all of you brothers who are out there doing the work, sisters too, who are out there doing the work. I love you all for all of that, and you do me honor, and I feel proud to know you guys. You guys have really picked up the ball and kicked it forward. And what's that? Oh, thank you, brother. And
Indeed.
so hopefully I can see you there at registration for our next semester. And trust me, if you go up online, click where it says testimonials, and you'll see that we've had some very powerful people who've left their own experiences, personal experiences of having taken the classes. We've had superstar athletes, superstar musicians. We've had I've had people from MIT who are my students. I mean, I've had a range: truck drivers, housewives. Everybody is now coming to metaphysics. Quantum physics is just metaphysics with a different language tone, and we're teaching you how to see and decipher what's real instead of what it is they put on a chalkboard.
Mm-hmm. Excellent, excellent. Hey Doc,
Yeah.
I tell you about that over the phone. I was about to say something. I'll wait till we talk on the phone to tell you about that. Listen, like I said, absolutely fantastic show. Appreciate you once again, Doc. I'm gonna call you soon. I definitely got to talk to you
Yeah.
about that book, just so you can help
Yeah.
me out a little bit, because it's like I
Sure.
said, it's one of the more complicated reads that I've got into. But with that being said, thank you so much, family. Make sure you show Doc some love. The brother's birthday just passed on the Cash App, not the Cash App, the Zelle and the
Oh,
PayPal. All right, family.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Doc. I'm gonna talk to you in a couple of days.
Yes, sir.
All right, peace, my brother.
Peace and love, brother.
Peace, family. Quick announcement before I get out of here. Tomorrow night, Rod Hayes will be live, so make sure all of y'all tune in tomorrow night. Rod Hayes will be. I got a real exciting week. If you I don't if you notice, I missed the last 4 days. Just take building some other things behind the scenes. But yeah, today's Phil, tomorrow's Rod Hayes. We got a great week. I got today, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So the next 4 days is going to be action packed, family. Make sure you tune in, family. Do not miss no days for the next 4 days. All right. Another quick announcement: anybody who orders cigars, everybody's cigars should go out by tomorrow. I sent out a large order today, but tomorrow, all the rest of the cigars should go out. So by next week, today, well, tomorrow will be Wednesday. So by, I would say, about Saturday or Monday of next week, anybody who ordered their cigars should get their cigars. So just want to let y'all know that. And if you are interested, let me share the link real quick before I get out of here. But yeah, it's gonna be popping tomorrow. Rod Hayes. I ain't even telling y'all who's gonna be on Thursday. And one of the guests is new. He never been on here, but it's I ain't even gonna tell y'all. I just shared the link for the cigar. Somebody said, "Peace. How do I order cigars?" Well, it's actually donation based. I'm building an empire, 363 Empire, and you could donate. And the link is, I just posted the link in the chat for the book that y'all asking me about. Somebody said, "Time for my neck." Yeah, definitely get your cigar order. Yo, check out this ashtray I got for my cigars, y'all. Check out this ashtray I got for my cigars. You know what I'm saying? Check out the ashtray I got. You know that this was called, this was calling out to my spirit, so I had to get it. Shout out to Cuba. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Cuba. What flags are these? This is Cuba, and I think there's a couple of flags here. No, this is Cuba. What's the other flags? That's Cuba, America. There's a couple of flags here, red, white, and blue flags. Is that what flag is this right here, y'all? Who out there knows? What flag is this right here? Well, tell me what flag is that. But real quick, I want to let y'all know the book that I'm talking about. Everybody was talking shit about me wearing a Yahweh hat. Now everybody want to buy the Yahweh book. Ain't that some shit? This is why you got to be a leader, not a follower. Everybody was saying, "Ooh, Yahweh, the Anunnaki, that's in Lil." Now niggas is like, "How I get that book, brother Rich? How I get that book, brother Rich?" Yahweh's in Lil, niggas. Y'all shouldn't want the book. But I'm messing with y'all. But this is the name of the book. Go to their website. If you go to Amazon or eBay, you might spend $1,000. Go to their website. I don't know what their website is. Find it, but go to their website. All right, go to their website. But it's an amazing book. Yeah. I ordered one. Yeah, make sure you get that. Make sure you get the cigars, family. That's real powerful, real extremely powerful. Oh, that's the, yeah, I thought it was Dominican Republic. Yeah, I thought it was yeah, put the ship if yeah, put the shipping address in the notes if they're not on your PayPal account. So yeah, put it in your notes if it's not in your PayPal account. But yeah, this is my cigar. I'll be lit with my cigar. Orange is one of my favorite colors. It's one of my favorite colors. See, I got the orange lighter. You got to have a good lighter with the cigars. You know what I'm saying? So you can't see it. Oh, you can't see it. You got to have a real good lighter for the, cigars. You know what I'm saying? But orange is like one of my favorite colors. You know what I'm saying? That's that I vibe. I vibe with that. You know what I'm saying? About to get out of here. Let me see. Somebody say Yahweh does not mean most high at all. That's great. That's great. What else y'all talking about? Somebody say you're a Virgo. That's why. Is Terrence Howard a guest this week? No, not this week, but he will be soon. He will be soon. He will be soon. Chosen said, I have not received my order. When did you order, Chosen? Yeah, let me know when you ordered. All right. I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah, book review show still coming. There was a hold up on that. All right, so let me show y'all. I think this might be, it's either Bruce Lipton or this is a real good book, another real good book. This is the guy that they got the CIA gateway information from. Bentov. Itzhak Bentov. Itzhak Bentov. And this is one of his book. This is one of his books. Powerful book. You see, I'm giving y'all some books tonight. Some powerful books. But this is y'all gonna get this because I told y'all Rod Hayes recommended that. So I know y'all gonna get that one. But this is another powerful one. That's another somebody asking about the cigars. I'm sharing the link. A lot of people. Oh, the cigars is donation based. When you donate 30 or more to my channel, I'm building an empire right now. And I got a PayPal link. And when you donate 30 or more, send out your cigars. But everybody from the last show I did with Hank, I didn't mail any out. So I probably mailed out about 50 cigars today. And I'm gonna finish up the rest of y'all. Like I showed y'all before, straight from Honduras. Straight from Honduras. Yeah, straight from Honduras. 100% tobacco, no pesticides, none of the crazy stuff. Like I said, everybody's cigars, if you ordered and you left your proper address, will go out by tomorrow. So by Saturday or Monday, if you ordered, everybody will be getting it. All right. But like I said, if you would like to order, I'm gonna share the link again. And Rod is gonna tell you. I just said Rod, like, yo, I need some every month, Rich. So I sent Rod like 4. Oh, let me close this. I gotta make sure it's closed. Yeah, I sent Rod like 4. I'm gonna have the testimonials, a commercial with testimonials real soon. So y'all know I ain't BSing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm trying to get Greg Braden on. It's you reach out to them and it takes, the process is a little longer than it would be, normally would be. But I definitely reached out to, his contact information. I probably need somebody with direct contact information. But you never know, But I'm glad, like, this dude here, JJ Hurtak, he hit me up, like his people hit me up like 3 days after and was like, yo, we seen you mention the book. We want to, what's up? So, but I gotta be sharp. With the interview. I gotta be sharp because I know the world gonna be watching, and his people gonna be watching, my people gonna be watching. So I gotta be real sharp with that interview. Somebody mentioned Robert Evergrande. I gotta I want to get him on again. Our first interview was amazing, but I definitely want to get him on again. Oh, he spoke on a podcast last year. JJ Hurtak. Okay, that's what podcast did he speak on? Yeah, New Diamond. You're right. I gotta get Flebrun on. Flebrun. It's French. Flebrun. I definitely gotta get on. Somebody said, "What's the Cash App?" I never shared a Cash App. Never. So I don't want anybody to think I shared a I've never shared a Cash App tonight. I haven't shared my Cash App in probably in months. It might be a year. I shared if somebody asked, but I've never shared a Cash App. So I don't want. Sometimes people will say I sent so and so to your cash, and I'm like, that's not even my Cash App. I shared a specific PayPal link. So I don't want people to confuse because people throw out links all the time and money goes to places and it never gets received and people never get their products. But I've never ever shared a Cash App when it came to the cigars. I've only shared maybe the very first time, but I've never shared in the last 3 months. I've never shared a Cash App. So yeah, please do not send anything to any Cash App because I'm not sharing a Cash App. I've shared a PayPal. So let me share one more time. I've shared a PayPal. All right, just want to let y'all know. But yeah, Bruce Lipton, Greg Braden, I would love to get them on. JJ Hertak. Those are three of the main ones I want to get on. You know what I'm saying? Definitely want to get those three gentlemen on the program. All right, but listen, Rod is gonna be on live tomorrow night, like Thursday night. Wait till y'all see Thursday night. Wait till y'all see. I ain't even going. Wait till y'all see Thursday night is gonna be super lit, super duper lit. So wait till y'all see Thursday night. Somebody say book not available is sell out quick. Um, yeah, maybe. It's hard to get. Like you could get like eBay got it is for like 1,000. This book is like 1,000 on eBay. Amazon got it for 150. You could get it straight from their website for like $50, I think, 40, 30, something like that. So I don't know. It might be sold out. It might be sold out. Yeah. Some Slimmy Yabe said, give us a hint. It's dealing with the the Americas. It's dealing with the Americas. That's all I'm gonna say. The American gods is joining forces. I'm gonna just say that. The American gods is joining forces. It's gonna be powerful. A lot of y'all been asking for one of these dudes in particular for a long time. He's never been on my show. A lot of y'all been asking for him for a long time. Sometimes if you ain't see somebody on my show, we just didn't connect yet. There's no conspiracy. It's no this or that. Just didn't connect yet. So I remember the dude that's coming on my show. I reached out to him about 2 years ago, and he was supposed to be on my show. We just didn't connect, and things happen in their time. So you just got to be patient. Sometime, you just got to be patient. Sometime, but with that being said, NASA says it's two. NASA. Somebody kept saying NASA says it's two moons. I'm looking at that. I'm looking at that. I'm looking at that because I see somebody said, Dane, I don't know. We'll see. Dane Calloway, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But it's gonna be a showstopper. It's gonna be showstopper. It's gonna be one of them shows. Listen, family, but it's gonna be a great week. And Aaron Lyons on Friday. So Thursday historic show and Aaron Lyons will be available. Will be here on Friday. So yeah, she's gonna be available for the family, chopping it up with y'all, chopping up good games. So tune in Friday for that. But the week is gonna be amazing. And next week is next week. Oh, I'm closing out the year strong. Like I said, I took the last 4. I'm building things behind the scenes. So I've been taking I took about the last 4 days off. I got things building up. I tell you, I'm working on this Carbon Code Collective. I'm building a micro community outside of social media. Too much noise, and I was talking about the signal to noise ratio. So I'm building my a micro community. I'm building up the app and I'm using AI to build the app and everything to create my own micro community because social media is too much noise on social media. So the learning gets, it's not as effective as it should be with books like these, this, and all these books. But social media has so much noise in it that the signal to noise ratio is not good. So we got to improve our signal to noise ratio. Uh, Shout out to Kafunia. Kafunia just texted me. I just seen Kafunia. She texted me. Shout out to Kafunia and everybody over at Nicholas. What Kafunia? What you text? What you sent me, Kafunia? What's this here? Oh, Kafunia got the book. Oh, that's what's up. Kafunia, when did you get the book after me and Rod talked about it? When you got that book, Kafunia? That's dope. Because I want to know if you read it already or not. You got when you got that book, Kafunia? Kafunia got that book. She showed me. Yeah, I'm gonna do a even after I interview the gentleman. Somebody said book name. I just rewind it. I already said the name, but I'm gonna say it again. The Keys of Enoch. The Book of Knowledge, The Keys of Enoch. And like I said, I Rod Hayes recommended it to me because he always see me wear the Yahweh hat. And I'm like, Rod, yo, everybody talk shit. I wear this Yahweh hat. You niggas got, and Lil talking about Yahweh, and I'm like, nah, but I was just talking to Rod, but Rod was like, yo, that's more of a title more than anything. And then Lil took that title. So it's like, say we got a name that's a title, like the GOAT. And then Trump let's say Trump calls himself the GOAT. Then a million years from now, everybody associates the GOAT with Trump. That wasn't Trump's name. It was a title you give for the greatest of all time. Trump just embodied that and took that name and called himself that. So I call myself the GOAT. I know I'm the GOAT, but it's a title. Even Radiohead Rich is a title. We're all radio receivers to this quantum field energy, and we're all rich radio receivers because we're all melanated. Every human is melanated, so we're all rich Radiohead receivers. So even Radiohead Rich is a title. So one of the dopest things I feel you could call yourself is a title. So I'd rather go by a title. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm part of that collective consciousness. I'm not an individual anyway. You know what I'm saying? But listen, got to get out of here. What y'all talking about? Kafuni. Okay, all right, that's what's up. Oh, Kafuni says she got it from East West. Okay, 10 years ago. Dope. Yeah, revisit it, Kafuni. Revisit it. Definitely revisit it, Kafuni. Okay, damn, Kafuni had it for a decade. That's what's up. One more time. I'm gonna share the link for those who are interested in these cigars that are absolutely shaking the world, taking the world by storm. Wait till y'all see the testimonials from Rod, Vicky Dillard. I'm gonna send Top Cat some. Yeah, just wait till y'all see the testimonials. But it's donation based. I had to go to Honduras and drive 4 hours after the airport just to get them. But it's donation based, and if y'all notice, I changed the name of the channel to 363 Empire. I'm building a lot of things behind the scenes, apps, micro communities, investing in cameras, a lot of original program. I'm actually new programs is coming next week on Patreon. So I appreciate all the donations for that. I'm gifting everybody cigars. To get the cigar is a $30 or more donation. So if you would like to get a cigar, you could donate 30 or more. If you just want to donate, you could just donate. But to get the gift of the cigar is 30 or more, and the more you donate, obviously, the more you get with the more cigars you get. With that being said, I really got to get out of here. I appreciate your time. Been on here for 2.5 hours, and I got the whole week ahead of me. So I'm going to spend some time with my family right now. With that being said, family, have a good night, and I will see y'all tomorrow night, Rod Hayes. All right, family? Peace and blessings.